Hypnotize, yes. Stay in attack formation.
With it! Boom!
Failed me for the last time, Admiral.
Alright, here we go. I've been dodging it and dodging it and dodging it. And those of you that I talked to here, not the ones that I talked to IRL, who I know, well, actually, I've talked to them about quite a bit of stuff on two people. Robert Menard and Dean Clifford. Let me explain something to you. They're Canadian. They ain't from here. I don't give a fuck what they say. Okay? Now, I've already done the work on the unclaimed territory common law. Right? Don't have nothing to do with no fucking states or nothing. It's free territory, free individuals, and you rub elbows together, and it's real basic fucking law. Everything that they talk about is outside of that because they're too busy screwing around with the UCC bullshit. And they're too busy. Here they're saying, I'm not a corporation. I'm not none of this. Oh, by the way, the first thing you should fucking do is use corporate contract law. First fucking thing they do. I mean, why do you people listen to that shit? I'm serious. I'm not the name. Well, you're a fucking whack job kook, and it doesn't matter because you're talking gobbledygook, and John Law's just going to crack you on the fucking head and take you anyway because you didn't say anything except fiction. You're saying, I ain't a fiction, so what I'll do is use fictional law. There you go. End of that. John Law's not a fucking idiot, neither is Judge Joe Brown. You know what I mean? Not fucking stupid. You're the one doing it. They ain't making you do shit. So people run out there, God's law. What fucking God, son? What, you didn't explain it to me? Well, you see, it's in the Bible. Well, I'm sorry, son, that shit ain't on my books. Whack. Right across the fucking noodle. What you should have said is, I ain't interested in contracting with you. I appreciate the shit out of it, though. Do you need me to help you out? Do you require assistance? Now, what does Menard and them say? All this other shit. And these people with their A for V bullshit. Raw Dog did a deal over it. And I just recently, because of Master Pontifex, I just recently saw some of Mr. Raw Dog's stuff, and I enjoy his stuff. He's quite exuberant, Mr. Raw Dog is. And evidently, he's come into contact with one of the sovereign citizens. Now, the deal is, here's the beautiful thing about it. When you look at let's start with the sovereign citizen kooks. Remember that the FBI was the one that started that little cool movement? All right. The NSA probably tracks that stuff. It's well known, all right? Originally, it's one or two guys going, hey, I read 5 pages of Black's Law Dictionary, and I'm going to duke it out with the system. Okay, they get fucking burnt like Charles Manson and everybody else. In fact, one day you ought to stop and read Charles Manson's pre-trial transcript. Now, stop. I said 2 words, or 1 hyphenated word that should automatically tell those of you smart enough to not listen to this trust law shit. They go, ooh, pre-trial. Okay, anyway, the point is, they go do that shit, they get burnt, and then they say, A, it didn't work, so it's full of shit, or B, let's go sell it on the street. That's the 2 options you hear out of these fucking people, right? I'm a sovereign citizen. Well, it's kind of easy. You can't prove anything. It's just turkey gobble falling out of your mouth. You know what I mean? All right. Some of you get what I'm talking about. You do. Okay, so anyway, that movement got started, so when you listen to the Rob Menard, he'll tell you freeman on the land. Well, that's the first thing that I would run into the judge and say, I'm a free man on the land. And the judge is going to say, oh, excellent, you're a fucking tenant. You fall under property law. Thanks, man, for being a fucking idiot and claiming that. A fiction in my face. Excellent, I can cook you now, dumbass. And then another asshole runs in. It's all admiralty because the fringe on the flag. And the judge says, thanks, dumbass. I appreciate the fuck out of it. That means I don't have to give you a trial at all. Straight to the Pokey, motherfucker. Next guy runs in, it's all maritime law. It's all maritime law. Thanks, asshole. I appreciate the shit out of that. You know what we're going to do, maritime dickhead? Straight to the motherfucking Pokey. Now you've got idiots running in. I'm not a corporation, but I'm using corporate law. Judge says, thanks, dickhead. It didn't take me but 20 minutes to figure this one out. Straight to the fucking Pokey. So, I'm always interested in differing corporate models of the law, that's all these people are using. They're bitching about all this shit, and then they're trying to modify and use law that ain't theirs. No law making and creating, no law of notes, no law of agency, and all they ever do is talk or fucking turkey gobble and never ever prove it with documentation. Now, those of you sitting here that I know personally or individually, you've seen my work, haven't you? Did I or did I not prove it? What was that? That's correct. I proved it. For those of you that have not seen it, I ain't showed it to you for a fucking reason. That's all there is to it. For everybody else, if you're too lazy to do the fucking work and do it yourself, it ain't my fucking problem. It's not. This is a free fucking world, son, if you want it to be free. But if you owe a man for services rendered, or you actually busted something that would piss everybody off, like breach of peace or just being a general dickhead, you deserve getting screwed. And there ain't no amount of UCC going to save your ass from that. All right. So anyway, when you look at the UCC, all they're trying to do, that's the New World Order shit. Do you people not get that? Trust law and all this shit's the New World Order shit. That's right. So it doesn't weird you out that there's a fucking foreigner, or a bunch of them, and I don't mean this for the people that I do know in England and etc. I'm not knocking y'all. What I'm saying is, it doesn't weird you out that people that you don't know, and they can't prove their shit, all they're doing is selling reworked, slight revisions that almost directly match the Law of War Desk Book 2010 that they're teaching your military now on corporate infiltration. You know, what is it? They don't call it common law. I can't remember. Anyway, the deal is they don't call it, quote, common law, unquote. They're calling it legal common law. That's all it is. It's the same fucking thing as what Clifford and them are pandering. It's the same fucking thing. You don't have to listen to me. Go read the Law of War Desk Book 2010. The Judge Advocate General for the Army didn't have no fucking problem with it. Now that's hey, cool, right? Cool. That's right. That's your United Nations stuff. Clifford and them are just prepping you for the next fucking version. And the next version is, we are all, and this is how you know. This is how you know. Their shit is, quote, human being, unquote. Now, by now, people, you ought to know, quote, human being, unquote, is a version, a legal version. If you run your ass to the judge and start screaming, I'm a human fucking being, some of those judges are also getting prepped, and they're going to twist the titty on the city kitty, and they're going to burn your ass, all right, because you're stupid enough to say that shit. Now, all I can tell you is, A, you got to try. B, you better not try if you actually fucking did it. Okay? All right, that's all there is to it. C, there's a limit to even my fucking patience on some of this stuff, right? Because you know it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. All right? How I deal with Judge so-and-so is my call. All right? But I can't go dishonor him by saying, you know, running in and saying some turkey gobble bullshit that nobody cares about, especially him. Because he's going to look at you like a retard. Like they always look at you, like a fucking retard. That's right. And they're going to go, oh, this is not amusing. To the Pokey, son. To the fucking Pokey. Now, secondly, the quote wins, unquote, that you hear about, quote, Freeman on land, unquote, are not wins. You'll hear that they're only draws and stalemates. Okay, I'm going to explain something. Now, some of y'all saw my work, my actual work, my real world work. Okay, so when you go look at this other shit, what are you seeing? You're not seeing a win. You're not seeing the other side go, I ain't got no claim. That's right. Menard and them can't prove anything. What they will do is say, oh, I stopped it, and then they say that's a win. What it is, they stopped it for now. All right, at any time, the other party can come get your ass. All right, so what it is I'm not saying it's a law of contract. The law of contract is a way that I like to, it's a model that's not mine, and I don't use it, not in a way that you think. I look at it as a way of dealing in between two people. And you better see, now listen, Clifford and them, all they want to do is argue inside a fucking court. It's too late, son. It's way too fucking late. You're so deep into that shit. That's how I know Clifford and them are full of shit, because you're sitting in court. All right? All right. You're filing, quote, affidavits of fucking truth, unquote, and fee schedules. What the fuck? Are you serious? You're fucking kidding me, right? At what point in time did you provide a fucking service for anybody? You go ahead and hit me with fee schedule and watch me drag your ass in front of a grand jury for fraud. Yeah, I ain't got around to telling John Law how to deal with y'all. Why would I? You're fucking yourself all the time. John Law ain't even got to try. That's because you're not smarter than John fucking Law. You're just trying to beat John Law for $20 and a pack of fucking smokes. All right, you're not trying to get actual justice. And everywhere you look, what do you see as a symbol of justice? A blind bitch holding scales. Well, a blind bitch ain't going to tell me much about the law. That's straight up. And number two, the scales is a use of merchants. That's what they use scales for. Merchants use scales, say, to scale out gold and silver. So if you really want to look at it, it's real simple. It's law of fucking merchant. And that's a law of contract, dickhead. Or do we not know how this works? I went through ass sizes and everything. Nobody fucking cared, evidently. They just wanted to go holler and scream at the fucking judge, even though they're the ones that did whatever it was. Or they were not the ones that did anything. But they dishonored the fuck out of everybody and still got burnt. That's right. Y'all that have tried your stuff that I know, and you got the results that you needed or required, and me, right? Obviously know by now those other people are full of shit. All right, now stop. Here's the deal. You got to remember, Clifford and them, what they're doing is selling third-rate fucking junk legal trash models of the system, and you're only going to lose. All right? They're trying to make it so you are a corporation when you never were. That way you'll fall under the UCC and stuff. And Clifford and them are rolling United Nations advertisements. Okay? That's what they want. That's what they fucking want. And then they'll say, well, everybody's a corporation, so we'll do it this way with summary judgments. There won't really be a trial. And Clifford will say, well, it's just trust law, man. What you do is you just write words on this fucking paper and you say turkey gobble, and then it's like, oh, yeah. And the whole fucking time, you're giving up your own jurisdiction. What is jurisdiction other than a word? That's all it is to it, man. That is. And that don't mean you go spouting turkey gobble shit to the judge. If you did something, take it in the ass, son. You did something. And if you didn't do it, well, I don't know, go learn the fucking actual law. And the actual law is, you're full of shit. Right? It's really easy. What fucking, over and over. See, Clifford and them don't quote out of law of agency, treaties on American citizenship. None of these fucking people do. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Don't you think they wrote those fucking books to tell each other how the shit's going to go? What is the United Nations? Other than an international trading company to enforce law merchant. That's correct. Not Admiralty. That shit don't fly. That shit don't fly at all, any more than the fucking legal common law flew. They can get rid of the legal common law in their jurisdiction inside their corporation. Now, why would I want to use failed legal models that were only designed to fuck me? That's right. That's right, because everybody's presumed guilty. I don't care what they say. What does the law say? They're legal models. You're fucked. If you're dumb enough to come in here, you're guilty. That's what the fucking law says. That's the common law and all this other shit. It's not about justice. It's about payment or payback. That's all it is. And it's way down the road. It's way the fuck down the road. If you can't handle your shit before you get to a court, you're fucked. And for one, why are you depending on a judge, not a fucking grand jury? See, Clifford and them don't tell you, oh, by the way, go to the sheriff, tell the motherfucker to round up 25 people and run a grand jury. I didn't say grand ass size. I said run a fucking grand jury. What model are you going to use? Well, you can mix and match all the models you want. Your legal system does it. It's always done it. Well, I hear this from over here. I hear that from over there. This one's from Mesopotamia. This one's Hammurabi. Let's just smash it all together. Fuck it. This is going to be so confusing, nobody'd ever figure it out. Well, it's real easy. If it's all bullshit, it's all bullshit. But anyway, back to Clifford and them. That doesn't mean that their models that they're using are invalid. It means if you're a silly motherfucker and you walk into a corporate court spouting that turkey gobble, you are establishing the precedent. Or did you not read presumption, or the law of presumption, law of fiction, presumption, and fact, right? What does it say? If you're so fucking stupid, you say it, it's yours. That's a presumption that we ain't gonna walk against, right? You said it. We didn't do it. So you walk into the judge, this is stuff. What's in the statute law? What the fuck? That's a presumption. All of it's a presumption. How about you walk in and say, Judge, ain't no fictions, ain't no presumptions here. Son, you're going to work with me and I'm going to work with you, and that's how it is. And I keep scrapping these videos because I didn't want to go into it. That doesn't mean I don't like Robert Menard's work. I do. That's a game theory that he's doing, that he's building, and he's revising as he goes along. So when people look at Robert Menard, the early days, or what I never watched the early stuff, and then they move into the other stuff, you got to look at what he's doing. You know, he's revising his work. He's going, okay, that might not be right, or right? That's right. The Constitution absolutely applies if you bond yourself to them, and then you got to make it stick. So, at what point in time does it mean I have to? That's right, it don't fly like that shit. I ain't going to use trust law. For who? Who am I going to tell? Am I going to run down and beg the court to hear me? That's pretty fucking stupid now, ain't it? All right, do Clifford and them even remotely talk about it? I don't know if they do. Well, I don't know if Clifford does or not. I just know he's equity and all this other way later bullshit, you know what I mean? Now, if you go out and you scream, it's God's law. Well, thanks, son. That's ecclesiastical. I'll hold you to it. And, Torquemada will hold you the fuck to it, won't they? That's right. But I enjoyed Runnymede doing the work in that area, the ecclesiastical, to see if they could make it work. Well, here's the deal. How about we just don't do it at all, and we stop it before we get there? Because you got to remember a wager of law. This is code duello, in a way. And if you default and say, let's go to court, well, it's way too late. You defaulted on it. Son, you said, I ain't even going to fight back. Right? When you should have stood right there with the dude making the claims, right? Or the dude ask. All these cops and judges do is ask you questions. They'll say a statement and look at you and wait. And you're going, I don't, Admiralty, that's what the fuck it is. And the judge is like, wow, this is too easy, man. These motherfuckers actually believe this shit. And let me tell you something, that's social cohesion right there at work. Some of these old boys are not fucking stupid. I just don't like bar associations. I don't. Because you got to remember what they're designed to do. What are they designed to do? You've read these fucking books with me. You've seen my fucking, what do they do? We got to keep the ball rolling, because if there ain't no ball, everybody's fucked. You really want to go to the old day regional governors, right? That's right. You really don't want to. So you better go, well, how about I just defang certain people here and here, and then I walk the fuck away, all right? And I deal with them as they come through one at a time, and that there are no fucking presumptions. Throw away the fucking birth certificate bullshit. I easily disprove that. It's all legal presumption. yours. So if you run in there screaming the birth certificate makes you a corporation, you dumb motherfucker, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. And second, if you run it, and I told, John Harris said this shit. He did in a way. If you're dumb enough to go run in there and say, the birth certificate makes me a corporation, but I ain't a corporation, you're just fucking yourself. You're also saying, I ain't a corporation. Well, an unincorporated corporation is still theirs, dumbass. What the fuck? You're not defining none of the terms. None. You're going, legal presumption stacked on fiction. Legal presumption stacked on fiction. Fuck me, won't you fuck me all night? That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. So anyway, don't get mad at them. You did it. Get mad now. You can get mad when somebody tasers the fuck out of you for no reason. And that, go draw a grand jury. And they'll say, well, you can't sue the fuck. I can do it all. The deal is, I'm the one that's got to set the precedent. If I want actual justice, I can get it. I do not believe money is absolute justice. I don't believe in fining a man to get justice. However, it obviously works. It obviously works. So, if you bond and note yourself in your fucking petitions to the court, that's right, you are bonding and noting and securitizing your own dumb ass to the court. You are. Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Okay? Anyway, so, if you're going to be serious, be serious. But if you look at the models Menard and Clifford use, they're interesting models. They will be what I would say the next bump in the road. It won't last long. It'll be the next version. And in comes the United Nations, where you've got a magic state, quote, state, and there's no, like, national government, but the corporations all run it in other words, they're going to play musical chairs. They're going to rename everything that doesn't actually, none of it exists, just on fucking paper. And they're going to move political boundaries, yet nothing changes. You're still the little guy at the bottom, and you still believe. But, just like Bernie Mandeville said, just like Rob Menard and Dean Clifford prove daily, you'll actually think that you won. You'll actually believe it. You will scream that you won from the top of the mountains. Now, you that know me and know my work, and I that know you and your work, we know what an actual win is, and not a draw. All right? So, or a loss that looks like a win. Yes, some of you know it, and I'm glad that some of you just said, fuck this, I'm walking away from this stupid shit. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's real stupid. All right? When you see John Law on the street, you ain't got no problem with John Law, and John Law ain't got no problem with you. And people say, well, why can't I film? Well, you're a fucking idiot, that's why you can't film. If I walk up to John Law and I say, I'm filming you, and you can't make me not film you. Well, that's a dishonor all to hell, now ain't it? Who the fuck are you to tell John Law what is and what ain't? You ain't, and you'll scream Constitution. Guess what, dumbass? Do that to me. John Law proves it daily. You go ahead and scream Constitution, son. You know what the Constitution says? You ain't a fucking citizen. You can't prove it. Smack in the fucking head. There you go. And then you go, me wants money, not actual justice. Me wants free ride. Me wants win lottery. Well, there you go. So much for freedom. But I don't know about some of you had asked me about Winston Shrout and all these other I don't know who they are, man. Don't know, don't care. How about that? And I don't mean I'm knocking you. I mean I don't care. Are they reading out a law of agency or any of that? No, they always do this real vague shit and they don't prove nothing. They don't back it up. They just say, because I said so, it must be the fucking law. And then you ask, hey, who do you work for again? No. You're trying to sell me something. No, thank you. You get off my fucking porch. What I'll do is just go read old books, and they'll say, this is how we fuck people. And then you go, hey, if that's how they fuck people, it's probably because people were fucking off the rockers and acting stupid and doing shit that was at least marginally wrong in some way or another. And B, they're just too fucking stupid to know they're children. Okay, John Law, I get it now. Thanks. I appreciate it. Leave me alone. Go fuck with people that are stupid and want to act like children. Right? Right. There you go. That's it. All I'm worried about is my fucking neighborhood in my little town. That's it. I don't give a fuck about constitutions or nothing else. You're not going to run out of leaders, people. Quote, leaders, unquote. So trust law and all this other shit, you're not going to change anything. You're not. You're using their versions of shit. In 3 years, they'll take it over and you won't even know it. Because it'll be written down somewhere. Hey, by the way, I said it's mine. Does that mean it's theirs? No, but you're dumb enough to go you're dumb enough to use their shit to begin with. And number two, you're dumb enough to believe that they own that. Do they own it in their own fucking house? You better believe it. So, what I'm waiting for is people like Judge Napolitano, right? I'm serious. You'll laugh. I'm waiting for the real fucking deal, right? The real fucking deal where they start really, really game playing to subdue some of the shit that's coming down the road. And some of the shit that's coming down the road is the patriots, the P-A-Y-triots. That's coming down the road, and he's, quote, Freeman, unquote. That's what's coming down the road. And their intent, and they're meant to, even though they don't know what the fuck they're doing, to destabilize the system. Once the system's destabilized, here comes the UN. We'll help you. We know you couldn't do it, United States Corporation or the Federal Reserve. We'll take care of it. Don't worry. Just sign on. For reals. Right? Well, you're already fucking signed on. You're way too late on that shit. However, none of their shit exists. It only exists in their fucking head and in yours. And if it don't exist in your fucking head, you stand up and you say, unless you're going to shoot my ass right here and now, it don't count. And they'll say, well, what if we beat your ass? Well, in that case, either A, I'm going to fight back, B, I'm not going to fight back, and you're going to fuck me. That's it. That's the law. That's the extent of it. Now, you can also get in court. Let's say they just whoop your ass. For no apparent reason, they drag your ass into court. Or they take you to jail. Well, obviously, none of you people know that they could never suspend a writ of habeas corpus because it doesn't fucking exist except on paper. So, yes, I can use a writ of habeas corpus. Constructive or otherwise. Which is another thing. You'll notice Clifford and Menard either know nothing or speak, but they do never speak about constructive jurisdiction. Ever. No negatory. All right, and that was in, I think it was Law Agency. I could be wrong. It was in one of them. Maybe Supreme Court reports of 1911 about the 1845 trials. That year's Supreme Court stuff. So there you go. There you go. I mean, if you want to really look at it, you'll go, but then again, you'll see the ABA journal going, and I meant to clarify this for some of you, we denied the doctrine of presumptive citizenship and constructive jurisdiction. So you denied it inside your corporation? That's odd, because aren't you constructively presuming a constructive presumption? That's double the fuck. And people don't get that one. They're going, well, they denied it, so it must mean, what the fuck? How can they deny something that's complete fiction anyway? Constructive jurisdiction. I said so, you're under my jurisdiction. And you're going, huh? What? But the bar associates there say there is none because they wrote the 14th Amendment. Okay, where's that piece of paper saying you were a citizen again? Or, oh, that's right, the only papers you're going to show me are papers that you signed saying you said you are a citizen. You never showed me a paper saying the corporation saying you're a citizen. So you can really easily knock out Menard and the others and Clifford just real fucking quick. Real fucking quick. Anyway, because all this shit's constructive to begin with. That's all that constructive means. I constructed it because I was bored. And what does, what was the legal maxim? And it wasn't actually a legal maxim. you'll catch some of the shit, but they put it in there as one. What is it? Fictio legis neminem ladet. The light of my law does not issue fictions or any of that bullshit. If you do, you get fucked because you're issuing shit. And then, of course, fictio, which is, I said I am. That don't mean you are, but because you're dumb enough to say you are, hey, son, that's cool with me. Anyway, this one went too long, and it's just basic bullshit. I didn't get into the, hard details of it. Who fucking cares? The law of contract and all these fucking people are clear, and Menard or none of them ever quote it. Harris never really quoted it. They go into other shit. Definitions. What the fuck? A definition, that's a legal definition, don't mean nothing to me. What does it mean anything to me? That's not inside my jurisdiction. I don't use that. Because if I use your shit, what happens? Derp. Herp fucking derp, kids. So anyway, there it is on your law. There it is on your law. The model I use has nothing to do with none of them. It's the old-timer law, which is real simple. Don't nobody own it. And the deal is it's however I deal with the other dude, right? And I got to do it right, honorable, and if nobody likes it, we wager law then and there. You know what I mean? That's right. With the exception of code duello, you can always offer code duello. They can outlaw that out. Let me say, there ain't no outlaw. There's out legal. Because the law is you. The law cannot speak itself. Therefore, fictions cannot speak themselves. You stare at a piece of paper. This how easy the scams are, kids. You just don't get it. I look at a piece of paper. It's just like a gun. Does that gun shoot somebody or do I? Real fucking simple. When I look at that paper, does the paper speak the law or do I? The legal. That's right. So if you got bullshit coming out of your mouth, somebody's going to call you on the carpet for it. That's all there is to it. And you don't get that that's what they're doing. They're giving you the bullshit for you to turkey gobble, and you're going to fuck yourself. That's all there is to it. Whoever originally designed this shit's fucking genius. And I do know that it's a compilation over years, concurrent compilations. For years and years and years about social cohesion. And there's nothing wrong with social cohesion if everybody's honest, honorable, and ain't willing to go out and fuck people. Well, that's the deal. The corporation turned people way the fuck back when. They in their heads, they turned off the switch where you act like a man and turned on the switch where you act like a kid. Now they're trying to tell you what you got to stop acting like a kid, but what you got to do is kind of act like a teenager. Right? You still got to keep us. I know. Actually, I also tell you, we didn't mean it. We were just helping you out. Well, new negatory. I don't think that's how we see this shit down here on the bottom. You're not actually helping me out. You're not. You could have just showed up at the door and said, this is, quote, money, unquote. Watch how this works. The law says, then didn't do it. Nobody I know of other than me drug that shit out and said, that's not the fucking law. I mean, there are other people scattered about, but nobody's going out there saying gold and silver ain't fucking money, other than me, and throwing in a book saying, hey, guess what? It's all legal presumption. I ain't got to. Here's the fucking Supreme Court case that says it. So anybody like Ron Paul that's bonded to the corporation's got to do what the Supreme Court says, even if they abolished that fucking common law. Now you see what it is. I can drag a case from 1845 saying, hey, you're full of shit. Whatever the other guy will take is payment. That's right. But on their end of it, they say, oh, by the way, it makes you a debtor. Right? See, Ron Paul don't talk about that shit. He's going to run away from it. Because who's selling gold and silver as currency? Where does it say that in the Constitution? It doesn't. It says no state shall turn down gold and silver for the payment of taxes due the state. That's all it says. You call that debt. How many definitions are there from debt? Well, that's easy. Debt is taxes due state. Because the state can't talk about how I deal with another man. Uh-oh. Ain't that right? Their jurisdiction ain't between me and another man. Their jurisdiction is inside their courts, ain't they? Ooh-hoo. Are you getting it? Yeah, you're getting it now. So they can't tell me what the fuck is payment. I already told you. You want payment? You don't get to sit there and whine watch specie. How about I step up and say, you're right, I do owe you. Let's just take for example. I do owe you. You're right, man. I do. And you know what? I've got a shitload of acorns, and that's all I fucking got. So your payment is going to be in acorns. What do you say on that, Joe Blow? And Joe Blow, the state franchise, says, no, we ain't going to accept that. And you're going to say, ha, okay, I tried to pay and you turned it down. Guess who busted the contract? Cool with me, man. I guess you ain't got no valid claim because you turned down a payment. And the payment is valid, son. As valid as paper money or gold and silver. Hey, it's not like Supreme Court didn't say it. But there you go. So everybody out here, that's real easy, isn't it? It's however you deal with the other dude. That's it. By the time you go to court, you're fucked. It's way too late and it's over with. And it's how you deal with John Law on the fucking street. All right? And if you squat in somebody else's fucking house and claim that it's free and blah, 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 you're going to get your ass beat up. All right? That's all there is to it. You don't own it. You don't own it. Now, you either want common property or you want private property. You can have both, but it would depend on people not being fucking idiots, where they wouldn't be tearing up the commons and then tearing up their own private and fucking around with everybody else, right? It's got to take a level of grown-uppedness for that to work, and it's just not going to happen in this world now, okay? Anyway, I'm sorry this went on so long. Remember, I don't hate Robert Menard or Dean Clifford or any of those other people, and the other ones that I do know about. I enjoy the work, but I do not subscribe to the work, okay? Because that is, if it's the model you want to use, you use it and watch what happens, because you're not defining anything, all right? So there you go. All right. And plus, like I said, people just want to beat the fucking system. They want for free, but they don't want to do the work, okay? Now, if you're really free, you're free. You know that, and I know that, and the people that I talk to, we all know how that works. You just walk the fuck away, and that's the end of it, ain't it? And we proved it time and time again on paper and everything else. You just walk the fuck away and say, you know, that's fine. You keep your stuff. I ain't going to bother you. And you ain't going to bother me, and that's it. Anything that you send over this way, or your kook fucking citizens that you send over this way, I'm going to send right back to you. All right? I'm going to deal with you when I must, not when you want. Okay? When you must deal with me, I will deal with you. All right? And that's it. And we're only going to deal with it in these specific ways. All right? Now, you want your claim to be valid. It's not going to be valid if you're just going to fucking ignore me. You're not going to treat me like a child. So what I will do is I'll stand up and I'll say, no, magistrate. Let's do it like this. You want something and you want money. You ain't getting it. I'll tell you what I will do. Let's say your claim's valid. I'm going to come in every day next week and I'm going to mow your yard. The somewhere, courthouse, whatever. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. We can't have that shit. Yes, you can. Because if you don't accept it, I guess you don't have a valid claim. Watch what happens. If everybody in the whole goddamn world getting red light traffic tickets would have walked down and told the judge, no, let me tell you something, this ain't going to be how it works. You want money? That's cool. I'm glad you want it. I want money too. But since this is not how that works and you ain't going to give me no money and you want money from me, I'm not going to give you money. Because guess what? By agreeing to give them money, are you not a child? You could have sat there and said, hey, that's not how, do you have some weed eaters? I'll work on them. How about that? You know, some county equipment, city equipment. Nope, didn't do that. Would you swing a hammer? Take 2 days, pay off a ticket, and walk away? That's right. They're using money in lieu of that, and you're dumb enough to keep giving them money in lieu of that. And when everybody in your fucking county standing on the county court steps saying, no, you ain't going to get no money. But I'll damn sure sit here and swing a pick, shovel, and fix the fucking road if I actually owe. You understand what I mean? Okay. Now, you got an option of not paying. Everybody knows this shit. That's what, have you ever thought there's the other option of how do I pay? Now, I'm not going to go in law notes. Others of you know what I do, and I know what you do. Anyway, but what's the other vein for people that don't know? Stand in front of the judge and say, I'll tell you what, I did do something wrong. If you actually did something wrong. And I'm going to take care of it here and now. What do you think about that? And judges, he's either going to accept it or he ain't. And the first 50 cases, they ain't going to accept it. But you watch what happens afterwards. Oh, shit. Yeah, and you would be fucking Obama, too. Because watch, Obama's wanting to run, the feds are wanting to run a WPA project again where they hire up unemployed fucking people, right, to go build the roads again and shit like this, right? I know old-timers that refused to work for the federal fucking government because they knew what that was, all right? If you ain't got no money or no food and you got to do it, you got to do what you got to do. Go do it, right? That don't mean I got to agree with you. And nobody likes motherfuckers anyway when they do that shit. Now, right, because your states are run piss poor. As corporations go, your fucking governments, local up, are run so fucking piss poor, it's unreal. It is. So, short the system. Walk in there and say, you know what? You got it. But I'm going to work for you, and this is the only way it's going to happen. I know how to swing hammers. You will get 2 days of work out of me for that $500 fine. 2. I'm not going to sit a day in jail. Nope, it ain't going to fucking happen. Because they actually don't make money off that. Unless you consider them going back to the government for money. All right, it keeps the system going. It keeps everybody dependent on each other like junkies. Okay, that's fine, whatever. I don't care about the kids, the junkies, the dopeheads, the judges. Don't care about that. Walk in there and say, no, you're going to dishonor me with a claim. And you got to say it out loud. You are dishonoring me with this claim that's bullshit. But it better be bullshit. Let me tell you something. If you motherfuckers go do this shit, well, I got caught with 20 pounds of weed. Well, goddamn, I don't want you selling that shit to the kids in the neighborhood or something. I'm not John Law. I'd just shoot your ass. The deal is John Law, hey, he's not going to listen. But if you walked in there and said, now listen, this is bullshit. It's my car, all right, and I was just going home, and this is getting out of hand, all right? So I'm going to work for you, and that's all there is to it, all right? But there again, you got to know warrants and everything else. Once you get that figured out, anyway, that's it. Sorry. I just meant that there are other ways, and what you're seeing is people so fucking stupid and want to scream and holler like children, and therefore they're getting treated like children. They're running out in OWS and everything, though I like Reverend Billy Talon, I do, I really do. Running out and screaming about something doesn't fix it. If you're going to act like a child, you're going to be a child, and that's why I like Reverend Billy Talon, because he'll stand there and say, listen, child, let's go do this. I know hopefully that's not what he means, but, well, Reverend, that's how I see it. And that don't mean nothing other than I do like Reverend Billy Talon. Anyway, there you go. If you don't like it, do something about it. And it's real easy. Walk the fuck in there and say, this ain't how it's going to be. You want money? You ain't going to get it. I ain't got none. And that means, literally, I ain't got any fucking money. Okay? So this is how it's going to go. Well, that would stop a lot of shit. You'd be amazed how much shit that would stop. Really. I mean, that would fucking start stopping a bunch of shit, right? Because I've always been in a favor of emptying the jails to run road crews anyway. Seriously, chain gangs. But they changed that on purpose, remember? They changed that on purpose to solely make you pay money, not work. When you pay money and go, fuck it, I just pay $20 and I'll get out of it. Well, guess what happens? It infiltrates even the smallest of towns. That's the magistracy system from up north. That's a Yankee model. I don't guess people get that. That's a Yankee fucking model, man. You don't want that. That's where you spend all your fucking time constantly paying some useless fucking magistrate. You know what I mean? And nothing gets done because everybody's working for the fucking dude out there, the corporation out there, and paying his fucking money to the magistrate. That's these corporate models that you're running. Welcome to Germantown, right, dude? Because that's what the fuck that is. You don't want that shit. Walk in there and say no. Yeah, you don't get to define specie on your bullshit claim. I will allow these things. Bing, 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 bing. That's right. They won't accept it at first. That's okay if they don't accept it. There's no valid claim. And that's what you write on a piece of paper. Well, Judge, you didn't want payment. There is no valid claim. Signed, motherfucking me. That's it. Done. right? If they don't like it, run it in front of a grand jury. Looky here, this piece of paper, judge didn't want payment. And they're going to say, Judge, are you serious? This guy come in and said he'd work for you for 2 days to pay it off, and you refused? And then you say, that's exactly what I told him. And the judge is going to say, well, yeah, but. And you're going to say, I ain't got no money. What the fuck else you going to take? You people don't get it yet, do you? That's right. You can win real easy. It don't take too awful long. But you got to use your fucking head, and you can't be a child whining about fucking money. Right? The property that's mine's mine. I don't need to go run to the state or the feds or the county or anybody else and tell them it's mine. It's mine now. And it's mine till I fucking croak. When I croak, I don't give a shit. That's it. It's not mine at that point. The state steps in usually, but what you got to do, that's what I'm saying. You don't fucking file trust papers with a fucking court. You write on a piece of paper, this shit's mine, and it's not legally presumed, implied, inferred, construed, misconstrued, constructed. This is the law. This shit's mine. When I die, it goes to somebody else. There is no other third party. That's it. You don't probate. You don't do nothing. It stops a lot of shit. Okay, kids? Now, that's what I was going to say. When you die, probate's just between people that don't want to deal with the shit. You know? So the state steps in through bar associates that are private and goes, hey, look at here. You know, and the bar associates don't mind. They're turning over your property to the fucking state. Look at the wheels on the bus go round and round. That's right. You're making yourself a fucking slave to the state. They ain't doing it. They ain't doing that before they was ever fucking here. You wrote on a piece of paper and said, this motherfucking shit's mine. When I die, it goes to my kid. Signed, so-and-so. This will stand in any court of fucking law. That's it. If you want to get it notarized, you can. All that means is somebody said, that dude actually wrote that shit. So anyway, it's way too long, but y'all take it easy.